Welcome back. Let's stay with our top story this afternoon. Dr. Murunwa Makwarela has resigned as the mayor of the city of Tshwane after revelations that he submitted a fake rehabilitation certificate for his insolvency. Joining us now for some reaction is Dr. Corne Mulder, who is the FF Plus Chief Whip. Thank you so much for making time for us, Dr. Mulder. Your reaction to this new development. This mayor has now resigned.
Let me be technical. My training is law. My doctorate is in constitutional law. Technically, you can't resign if you were never elected. But that's just a legal point. Fact of the matter is then, let's say politically, that Mr. Makwarela has now resigned from that position. And I welcome that. I think that's the honorable thing to do, but it's not going to assist him really, because it becomes clear now that he tried to defraud the council, tried to defraud, it seems, the municipal manager, by handing in some fake court order. And this has got huge implications. This is only the beginning of his troubles, unfortunately.
The City of Tshwane, Dr. Mulder, is trying to decide whether or not to go after him and claim the monies that were paid to him as councillor and also as the speaker of that council. As you indicated there that you're trained in law, what's the feasibility of this approach from the position of the city?
I think it's something that can be explored, and I think it's something that should be done. The fact of the matter is he was never a councillor, not since day one. So he received a salary as a speaker for about 12, 13 months, which he was not entitled to. But it's worse. There's another problem. In terms of Section 23 of the Insolvency Act, while you are insolvent, any monies that you own or earn, that any income that you have, must be used in order to pay the creditors. So, if in the first instance one would say that he was entitled to any money, then that money then should be allocated to the creditors in his insolvent estate.
What responsibility do political parties have? And I know as a multi-party coalition, when you supported him for the position of speaker, then responsibility is not entirely on you as the coalition to do a background check on him. That's the responsibility primarily of the organization that has put his name up on the list to the IEC for him to be councillor. But my understanding is that, and I want you to please let me know and confirm it or deny it, there are some people making suggestions that as a DA-led coalition, you knew about this insolvency and you were sitting on this information until it was convenient for you. So are you able to confirm or deny if this is the information that was at your disposal?
Let me react in the following manner. First of all, and I always feel strongly about that, there is no DA-led coalition. No, never. There's a multi-party coalition consisting of 5 political parties in the city of Tshwane, so it's not DA-led. That's just the first point. The second point is, I can unequivocally say this information was not at our behest. We didn't know about any of this. If we did, we would never have supported this person to become the speaker. And if it became clear to the multi-party coalition during his tenure as speaker, we would immediately have acted. In our coalition agreement, we've got a very clear provision there. We won't tolerate any corruption. We are absolutely there for transparency, for best government. We need people that are fit for purpose. This information was not known to us. It became known to us when Dr. Makwarela or Mr. Makwarela, let's see where that will go, when he decided to leave the coalition, and then people came forward voluntarily and said, but from the public side, we know this, I think we should look into that. So the moment when this became clear and known to us, we started an investigation and it led to where we are now.
Let's talk about this adjustment budget that needs to be finalized by the end of March, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, the city finds itself in a serious predicament in terms of governance issues and service delivery, because that service delivery will be affected if council doesn't approve this adjustment budget by the end of the month. Do you think that the process will be able to unfold from Monday, because the city manager has called this council meeting for Monday to elect a speaker? But then we also know about the tensions and the disagreements in council. So there may be an issue of numbers of, are you guys able to even support a candidate that's going to receive enough numbers? So what are the consequences if on Monday there's no speaker that is elected, and the end of the month comes before this adjustment budget is approved?
Well, I think there will be understanding from Treasury side at this stage in terms of what has happened here. This is beyond our control. Obviously, there was an interference as far as I'm concerned and the collaboration to try and topple our government. In that process, Makwarela was elected. There was an understanding that we have until the end of March to pass the adjustment budget. But the problem now is the following. Even the speaker, the election of the speaker is not going to assist. We need a mayor. We need a new mayor, but because the new mayor will take charge of that adjustment process. So the sooner we can elect a new mayor, the better. Now, within the coalition, within the Multiparty Coalition, we still have the 5 political parties that still maintain a majority. We've got 108 seats, which is a majority. We are ready to proceed. We are ready to proceed to elect a new speaker from the coalition. We are ready to proceed to elect a mayor from the coalition, a new mayor. We need that opportunity, and then we hope that other parties will also act in a mature manner and understand what is at stake, because we all understand also that at the background, they lure a certain person called the Premier of the province who may just want to be using this opportunity to try and put the city under administration. All parties, all councillors from all individual parties should now focus on what's in the best interests of the inhabitants of the city of Tshwane, that we can put this absolutely shocking state of affairs behind us and get the city moving.
Have you decided on who you will be putting up as a multi-party coalition to occupy that position of speaker? Because I imagine for the position of mayor, when council gets to that process, you will be putting Mr. Celius as previously resolved.
Yes, correct. When we get the opportunity to elect a new mayor, it will be Mr. Silje. He's the candidate of the Multi-Party Coalition. The Multi-Party Coalition had a meeting of the technical committee last night. We started at 9 o'clock. It lasted until 11, in which we started the process of identifying our preferred candidate for the position of speaker. We set certain criteria. We set a certain process. The parties would have gone back to their structures during today, and we will have another meeting tonight and finalize our candidate so that party caucuses can still be informed. But when we come to the council on Monday, we will have a candidate with the support of all the parties in the coalition.
All right. Dr. Corne, Mulder, Freedom Front Plus Chief Whip, thank you for making time for us.